I'm calling from the Trib. I'd like to confirm.
Hey, I've been getting to run around for 2 hours, and I'm coming.
Can you tell me approximately how much money was missing? Was it over $1,000?
Aix-en-Provence, France. And it was great. But after a year, I suddenly got a revelation. I was an American. I was more of an American than I'd ever thought. And I just said to myself, I am not of these people.
I felt that whenever I have to go to the valley.
Well, it was more than just a matter of missing Walter Cronkite and peanut butter. I wanted to come back home and be a part of what was going on.
Is your dad up?
Isn't that cute? He knows I lived with a guy in France for 6 months. Old habits die hard.
It's cute.
You want to come in, Joe?
I don't know. I don't think your father's that crazy about me.
Yeah, he's that way with all the guys I go out with. Besides, I have so many questions I want to ask you about reporting. Where's my keys? Oh, here they are. I've got to start looking for my own apartment. Can't you come in just for a few minutes?
Oh, I suppose.
Oh, I thought I heard something out here.
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Joe. I was just up doing some reading. Well, Joe, do you want to come in for a root beer?
No, thanks. Got to get in early in my job. See, I've got this managing editor who works in a glass office. Sees you when you come in.
Good night, Joe.
Good night, Joni. Good night, Charlie.
Yeah.
Morning, Tim.
Hey, Joe. I wouldn't let this guy up, but he insists on waiting to see you.
Joe Rossi? Look, I apologize for my story in the artists in Venice. They're not all dope fiends.
Here, this is for you. Freedom or death.
That's right. Same to you.
Who was that?
I guess somebody who reads the Trib and sensed from something in my pieces that I was a guy you wanted to communicate with.
You mind not doing that in here, Rossi? You might have a bomb in it. I'm going to the dark room. Give me a minute or two to close the door before you open that.
Why do I get all the wackos?
Something makes sense in your pieces?
I'll say this guy has style. At least I attract a higher class of nut.
What is it?
See, now you're curious. Lou, what do we do with something like this?
What is it?
The letter says these are plans for an atomic bomb. What do you think?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I looked at A-bomb plans.
You spent a lot of time drawing these.
Enclosed, you will find plans for a nuclear device. We are sending the plans so that you know it works. Check it out if you doubt us. This is not a joke. The device will be detonated in an important part of Los Angeles if these demands are not met.
What do they want?
$10 million. We have to publish their message. Morasic and Katulich have to be released from prison.
Who?
The negotiations must begin immediately on the formation of a free and independent Croatia.
Why are they blowing up Los Angeles for that? The United States doesn't rule Croatia. Do we?
What's going on?
Bomb threat.
Okay, call the police.
This is supposed to be an A-bomb.
But I think federal people get into it. Let's find out.
Oh, see, how'd you get this?
Some guy shoved it into my hands in the lobby.
Okay, when we find out more, we'll kick the story back to you.
Everybody's being so cool about it.
We don't think it could be for real, do you?
Well, no.
You know, it's funny. If these guys had said there was an old-fashioned time bomb in the Trib basement, we'd all be panicked. But they blew their credibility with the A-bomb bid.
Yeah?
Yeah, what?
Not to worry.
What are you saying? That the drawings are fake?
Well, they always are.
Always? Mr. Ogans, do you get a lot of A-bomb threats?
Well, I wouldn't say a lot. Would you?
What's a lot?
One a week?
No. But there are plenty of kooks out there. Usually the police get called, and they call in the FBI, and Bob calls me, or someone from my agency, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and we check it out.
Actually, the nuclear thing isn't as popular as it was a couple of years ago. Laser ray devices are in now.
We are fighting Star Wars.
So what do you do with those now?
Well, it's policy to treat everyone as the real thing. Now, we'll find the young man who passed that threat to your reporter. And perhaps if your people could take the time to give us a description.
Sure. Big old time you need.
You could also do something else for us. For obvious reasons, it's important to us that the Tribune sit on this story for a while. You boys have any trouble with that?
No. It's policy to cooperate with you boys in something like this.
We would like to be kept informed of the progress of the case.
Oh, absolutely. We want to keep the lines of communication open.
Yes, it's very important that we keep in touch. By the way, I really like the Tribune. I travel around and I have to read a lot of newspapers. And the Tribune is one I can always look forward to with my morning coffee.
Thank you.
Donovan, how's it going?
Okay, Rosie, how's it going with you?
Oh, you know how it is. Women. It's not one thing, it's another.
That's true.
I got into one of those situations we get into. You'll appreciate this. I was lecturing at a journalism seminar at UCLA, Men, Minds, and the Media.
Which were you?
Anyway, afterwards this girl came up to talk, and you know how those audiences are. Well, this girl was different. She really had a good mind, understood what I was saying, thought I was terrific.
Girls like that are hard to find.
Yeah, wait. So we had coffee and talked, and I asked her out again, last night. Movie and dinner.
Did you have a good time?
I don't know.
When are you going to find out?
It's not that simple, Donovan. This girl is Charlie Hume's daughter.
Ah.
I don't think I'm ready for that. If I start dating her, it's going to be very awkward with Charlie. I mean, let's face it. I'm not exactly the kind of guy who wants his daughter to be involved with.
Why do you say that?
I'm in the wrong business. Nobody's more prejudiced against newsmen than a newsman.
Then don't go out with her.
It's not that easy. If I don't take her out now, it's just like an insult. How can I face Charlie after I passed on his daughter?
I don't think it's a problem. If you don't want to take her out, just tell her you're not interested. Then start looking for another job.
Right. Thanks, Donovan.
Thanks for lending me that book, Joe. You know, it really does show how TV news just cannot do a story in depth.
Is TV news supposed to?
Oh, yeah, well, I guess you can watch TV for the immediacy and then use the newspapers for information. Use both neither.
Where's the time?
Joe, who are you with tonight?
What do you mean?
Well, you don't seem to be here with me.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot on my mind. Look, Joni, I want to tell you something.
Yes?
This is hard.
What is it?
I think we're being followed. Don't turn around or anything.
What?
Your father doesn't drive a tan Cutlass, does he?
Joe, are you serious? We're being followed?
Same car's been near us all night.
Well, maybe they're just going where we are.
Let's find out. still with us.
Who are they?
Some nutty radical group made contact with me today. It could be them. In any case, I'm taking you home right now.
Joe, do you get followed like this often?
It happens.
Boy, dating a guy in journalism sure is a lot more exciting than dating guys in comparative lit.
Yeah, well, things do heat up sometimes.
Well, what was it that you wanted to tell me?
Oh, yeah. Look, right now, I think I just better take you home, and then I'll call and we'll talk.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Yes, honey, I'm telling you, I looked all over. Under the pillow? Sure. Yeah, I even took the blankets off. It was a gold necklace, right? Well, I don't know where else to look.
Don't you ever lost and found?
Look, if I do find it, I'll call you right away. Okay. Bye. Mrs. Pinchon.
Lou, I was being followed last night. I don't know who it was, but I was definitely being followed.
Yeah, that's interesting. So was I.
You too? No kidding. I wonder if anyone else was.
I didn't notice.
Morning, guys. Something kind of weird happened to me last night. I'm sure I was tailed.
By who?
Oh, cops, government guys. It was real textbook.
I think that's who was following me.
You were followed, too?
Yeah, so was Rossi.
We were all tailed?
I probably was, too. I was a little preoccupied.
I'm going to get him on the phone and tell him to call off their watchdogs.
Wait a minute, Rossi, hold it.
Now, I don't like feds crawling all over me, Lou.
They should be crawling all over you. We passed on an A-bomb threat to them, and they're just following up in a very thorough way.
They weren't. You'd be pushing us to do an expose on government incompetence.
Let me call them anyway. I'm going to ask them if they were tailing us, because if they weren't, I want them to know somebody is so they could tail them.
So it looks like they're taking this seriously. I thought they said not to worry.
I can't believe that a homemade atomic bomb is a possibility.
Is it?
A homemade atomic bomb that somebody built in his basement? Come on, Rossi.
I'm just asking if it's possible.
You need the resources of the U.S. government to make an atomic bomb, or the Russian government, or at least the Indian government. In any case, a government.
Yeah, I would. I got a D in high school chemistry. But what about those guys with glasses who always went around campus carrying briefcases with the slide rules dangling from their belt loops? I thought they were building bombs even then.
Some of them probably grew up to be bomb makers, and they work for the government.
All of them? Maybe there's one mad scientist who doesn't.
We're not going to settle this by arguing among ourselves. Let's find out. Rossi, how would you like a trip out of town?
I could really use it.
Okay. Your madman would need radioactive material for his bomb. See if he could get it. And somebody should see what he'd do with it.
I knew a guy in college who would understand the physics. I could try to find him.
If you don't mind.
I've been looking for an excuse to look him up. He was kind of cute.
So, how can I help you, Billy? What did you want to know?
Is an unofficial nuclear bomb possible?
I thought you wanted to talk about us. Yes, it is.
I don't mean theoretically possible.
You mean, can a civilian with limited resources build one in his garage?
That's right.
No question about it. Absolutely.
You've thought about this before?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I've had nightmares about it. Designing nuclear weapons was my field for a while. Sophisticated weapons for the government, but I've also designed several do-it-yourself bombs in my head.
Sure, you could do it. You're a top physicist. You've always been brilliant. It took the people on the Manhattan Project, and they were geniuses, years to figure out how to make an A-bomb.
Yeah, those people were high-powered. But the next guys right on their work. One person may have had the creative idea to invent the wheel. But now everybody can understand how it works.
But the average person would be starting from scratch without access to the work of the Manhattan Project.
That's not really true. Just about all that material is unclassified now.
But how many people could really make use of that unclassified material?
20,000?
What?
About 20,000 people in the world. Several undergraduates have designed A-bombs for class projects. Suppose one of those 20,000 people who could do it is a little crazy.
Jack, you're starting to make me nervous.
Well, what's saving us is that you need fissionable material to make a nuclear bomb. The stuff is hard to work with and even harder to get. Of course, we know an unofficial bomb is possible, so that's why security on the uranium and plutonium is so tight.
No, I'm not worried about some nut stealing plutonium from my plant and making an A-bomb in his backyard.
Could it happen?
Well, I'm not losing sleep over it. Honestly, it's just not a real problem.
The security around here looks like it could keep out the average prowler. But could a chain link fence and a couple of guards repel a determined assault?
No. We could slow them down quite a bit, but we couldn't keep them out.
That doesn't worry you?
No. See, our big problem is safety. Making sure that we don't have an accident or that we don't contaminate the countryside. That's what we spend our money on, because that's what the public is concerned about. And rightly so.
So you don't believe plutonium can be taken from your plant?
No, I didn't say that. I said I wasn't worried, because there are too many ifs. Sure, if you knew what you were doing, and if you weren't greedy, and probably if you were crazy, you could slip plutonium out of the plant in minuscule amounts and it wouldn't be detected.
How's that?
Well, if you worked in the plant and took the same tiny amount, say, in a salt shaker in your lunch pail each day, it wouldn't show up. Maybe. But we'd check out our people very carefully.
So right now it's known where every drop of plutonium is?
Well, I think in this plant, within a reasonable margin of error at this moment, yeah.
What about not in this plant?
Well, naturally, there is MUF.
MUF?
Materials unaccounted for. Look, we're really on top of this. The fact that we can state that small quantities are missing proves how carefully we're monitoring it.
How much is missing?
Relatively little.
Enough to make a bomb?
Oh, enough to make several dozen bombs.
And that doesn't worry you?
No. Because take the worst case. Say the stuff is in the hands of someone evil. Well, what are they going to do with it? It would take a whole Manhattan Project to build an atomic bomb.
The picture I get is that you could build a bomb if you could get the fissionable material, but there's no way you could get hold of the stuff.
Picture I get is that if you were determined, you could get the fissionable material, but no way you could build a bomb.
You two are starting to make me nervous.
It all sounds so far out.
One guy says you can do it, the other guy says you can get the stuff. Maybe you should introduce these two to each other.
Rossi, phone call. Guy says it's important.
Do me a favor, tell him I'm in a meeting.
He said to tell you freedom or death.
I think I'll take it. Line 4. Yeah, this is Joe Rossi.
Why haven't you printed our demands?
Try trace.
Who is this, please?
You know who this is.
Are you the same person who handed me the package in the lobby? I don't know your name. I'd like to know your name.
We don't need names. We need action.
What kind of action do you mean?
You know what I mean. Time is running out.
Well, I, for one, am not really informed on the Croatian situation.
Time is running out.
Not long enough for any kind of trace.
You mean I could make an atom bomb in my garage?
And your kitchen. You'd need a few things you probably wouldn't have in your cupboard because chances are the uranium you have would have to be changed to get it into a form that's easier to work with. You'd need a lab furnace, some hydrofluoric acid, flasks, crucibles, other hardware. The most expensive item would be the lab furnace. It could run you a couple $100. You better figure $300 or $400 for all the equipment.
And how much for the insurance policy in case you accidentally blow up Pasadena?
Well, you'd be atomized too, so you probably wouldn't care.
Oh.
Jack, in the late 60s, the AEC discovered someone was missing 15 kilograms of uranium UF6. It turned up in a freight room in a Boston airport. Now, what if you could get hold of some misplaced UF6?
Well, you wouldn't need such special equipment. For the heating part of the process, your stove at home will do.
Jack, I didn't come to see you, and we didn't invite you over here to ask you all these questions because we got into this subject by accident. These are some copies of plans we received at the trip.
I copied a few pages of the drawings before the feds came. I don't know if there's enough here for you to tell about this thing.
You know, I still have a certain security clearance, and because of information which is classified, I couldn't tell you if this bomb was workable.
You could tell us it's not. You could say, this won't work. Look, Jack, if this bomb is not viable, just say something so we won't all be scared out of our socks.
Lou, can I have another beer?
Lee Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
The message of those terrorists, or do we just keep quiet about the whole thing?
The police, the FBI, the Department of Energy, they all want us to sit on it.
Of course they do. What do you think?
We don't know what would happen if we ran the story now.
Do you remember what it was like during the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Sure, people were scared.
Well, it was a little bit more than that here in this city. Do you remember what it was like, Mr. Hugh?
Oh, yeah. I just moved out here. It was incredible. Supermarket shelves stripped bare by people who were hoarding. I saw one woman interviewed on television with a shopping basket full of carrots. Nothing but carrots. She had heard that vitamin A could help resist radiation poisoning.
The small towns surrounding Los Angeles issued public statements that people would be shot if they tried to stop in their areas during an evacuation. Oh, it was not an inspiring moment for us.
So if we did print the story now, we could start a wholesale panic.
Yeah, but what if we don't print their demands, and these wackos back up their threat and set off the bomb?
They haven't done it yet. I'm still for holding out.
Mr. Hume?
I agree.
Well, how do we proceed?
We keep working on the story. We try to find the nut who gave Rossi the threat.
What do we know about that person?
Not much.
Well, good luck. And if you do get close to these extortionists, please tread gently, Mr. Grant.
We'll be careful.
Hey, Marty, thanks for calling back. Got a few minutes before your next class? Okay, I'll make it short. I need a quick history lesson.
Hi.
Oh, just a second, Marty. Hi.
You drove off the other night before I had a chance to give this back to you.
Oh, I meant to call, but things started breaking here.
I know.
Look, this is kind of a bad time. Why don't we meet for a drink later?
That would be nice.
Okay.
Have you seen my father anywhere? I'll see you later.
The bomb that destroyed Hiroshima was 20 kilotons. Perfectly lousy 1 kiloton atomic bomb. A fizzle set off in the center of UCLA could wipe it and about 30,000 people off the skyline.
Oh.
Somebody could be driving up Wilshire Boulevard right now in a beat-up station wagon, picking his target.
I just feel that I should warn all these people out there.
To do what?
You're right, there's nothing they can do. The population of Los Angeles can't move to Utah till this is over. Jack, this is so horrible.
For 5 years, I tried to design better nuclear bombs because I thought if we made the damn things destructive enough, their use would become unthinkable. So, I designed Maverick, which I named after that TV show I liked as a kid. 1,000 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. And I designed Snoopy, which could fit in a suitcase. Very clever. But I realized I'd been a complete idiot.
How?
Because I was so naive about people. Sure, the destructiveness of nuclear bombs would deter most people from using them. But this world produces too many people who don't live by that kind of logic. There are people out there who would push the button, and I may have made it a little more likely that that will happen. Something I accomplished before I was 30.
I just feel so hopeless and lonely. Jack, let's have dinner together tonight.
Okay. Pick a place, and it's still standing this evening. We'll go there. I'm sorry. It's nervous tension. I don't feel so hot myself. I don't want to be alone either.
Croatia is south of Slovenia and north of Bosnia.
What's that from, The Lord of the Rings?
It's a map of Yugoslavia, and it's very real to the people who live there.
The Croats.
Yeah. Croatia had been part of Hungary, but was semi-autonomous. And after the First World War, they drew up a new map, and the Croats found themselves part of Yugoslavia.
Not happily.
Very unhappily. In fact, in 1934, a Croat assassinated King Alexander, but that didn't make things any more fun for the Croats in Yugoslavia.
They want to keep their autonomy.
Right, exactly. I talked to a lot of Croatians. Some were very militant, but I didn't feel any of them were capable of something like this.
Who would be? You don't know these people are really Croatians. They could be simple extortioners using their Croatian struggle as camouflage. They could be anybody. None of this is getting us any closer to the guy who gave the bomb threat to Rossi.
Well, have you got a minute?
Yeah, keep digging. Beats just sitting around waiting to be atomized.
Come on in my office.
All right, Joey. You hear from the feds?
No, I haven't heard a thing.
What's wrong?
What would you do if your daughter was going with a reporter?
You're kidding. Joni?
Uh-huh.
Oh, gee, Charlie.
Oh, come on now, Lou. You have 3 daughters. What if one of them was getting serious about a newsman?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to picture.
Try.
Well, I don't think any of my girls would. They're too smart. But if one of them did, I guess it would depend on the newsman.
Thanks a lot.
Well, what did I say? Who is it?
Our young friend out there.
Donovan? Oh, well, he's not a bad guy. I know every time he takes a long lunch, you'll be thinking...
Donovan.
Oh, who could it be?
The other one.
What other one?
Rossi. How does it happen, Lou? You feed them when they're babies. You nurse them when they're hurt or sick. You try to get them the best education possible. You endure them in adolescence. You get to know them better in college. And then they come home one night with a reporter. Damn.
Charlie, we were reporters.
Yeah, you remember what we were like? Oh, I'm stumped, Lou. I've never interfered in Joni's relationships with men.
Didn't you tell her you'd disinherit her if she kept on living with that artist in France?
Well, he was a very flaky guy. He was French.
Didn't you tell her she couldn't go with that motorcycle racer when she was going to Stanford?
I didn't like her riding on the back of that thing at 90 miles an hour. Do you know the statistics on motorcycle accidents?
Didn't you ground her when she stayed out late with that guy in high school?
It didn't have anything to do with the guy. Although he was kind of weird.
Charlie.
I never interfered. I tried, but she would never listen to me. If I try to tell her something now, she won't listen.
I could send Rossi on indefinite assignment to Sacramento.
No, that'd never work. I wonder how he'd like to be Moscow bureau chief.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Is this anything? Break-in at an airline ticket office about 4 weeks ago.
So?
Well, no money was stolen, but somebody had used the computer. Didn't Jack Ridgway say that access to a computer would help somebody trying to design a bomb?
Yeah. Very good. I want Rossi to stay on what he's doing. Give this to Billy when she checks in. Hey, Donovan. What do you think? You think there's someone out there driving around with an A-bomb in his back seat?
I don't know. That's almost too big to think about.
They came in the back way, there.
I see. And there was actually money in the office at the time?
In the safe, sure, but they went right past it.
Could they have tried to...
Sorry.
Oh, pardon me. Tell me, could they have tried to crack the safe and failed?
Police didn't think so. It's not really a very sophisticated safe. We don't deal in large sums. And it showed no signs of being tampered with.
Could this have been a case of industrial spying? Could they have been after records instead of money?
Nothing like that here.
What do you suppose they were after?
They used the computer. Over an hour's worth of computer time. It's really valuable, you know.
What kind of problems were they working on?
We have no record of it. All erased. Whoever they were, they knew what they were doing.
Well, Joni, I'm really glad you came back from France and we met.
Oh, me too.
And I really like you.
Oh, I like you too.
Joni, it's great that you're interested in journalism. But one of the things you're going to learn is that this business is very tough on relationships.
Right. That's the hell of it, I know.
You do?
I'm a newspaperman's daughter. I mean, relationships, they get all bent out of shape. It's part of the price that you have to pay.
That's right.
I know what you're feeling right now, Joe.
You do?
My father told me all about the big story that you're on.
Oh.
Boy, the whole thing is so sick and rotten. I mean, I don't want to be blown out of this world. I haven't even had a chance to be a reporter yet.
You will.
Well, if there's a city left to be a reporter in. I mean, you feel so helpless and so hopeless and scared. It's like the whole world is spinning crazily out of control, and it can be such a beautiful world, Joe. I went to the beach this afternoon. I watched the surf rolling in for miles up the coast. The clouds scudding along the horizon, sailboats out on the ocean. And then I drove into town as it was getting dark. The LA skyline with the lights on and all the big new buildings. It was so dazzling I started to cry. What?
What?
Oh, what is it you were going to tell me about, journalism and relationships? I'm sorry I got started on all this. Please, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll just have to take it a step at a time. Lou. Lou, I think I got something.
What is it?
The group surrounding the consulate building shouting slogans in Serbo-Croatian and English. Tito must go and freedom or death.
That was your man's message, right? Freedom or death?
That's right.
What else does it say? What's the group?
They call themselves the Ides of March.
Ides of March is just March 15th.
A group of Croatians were killed trying to hijack a plane on that date last year. I called Croatian groups all across the country. Some of them knew the name and got very upset. They disavowed any relation to these Ides of March people. Doubted they were even Croatians.
So you think this crazy group is planning an anniversary celebration this year, maybe with a big bang in it?
I don't know. What do you think?
Hey, fellas, I wish you'd figure it out. Today's the 14th. 15th is tomorrow.
Since the 15th of March is tomorrow, we may be coming up on a deadline.
Has that date been mentioned in any of your communications with these people or this person?
No. Isn't it a coincidence this is happening now on an anniversary that is so important to them?
Maybe not. Maybe. In any case, we are investigating it thoroughly.
You've been investigating thoroughly ever since this thing started. And there's still some nut out there in this city with an atomic bomb.
Now, we don't know that. That's just what he says.
But it is possible.
Mr. Grant, we've dealt with this kind of thing before. They are never real.
That's still your position? You've seen those plans. How real are you taking this threat?
Oh, we treat them all as if they were real.
How real is this one?
You know I can't discuss the details of an ongoing investigation. Now, I realize how frustrating this must be for you. But I can assure you, there is no cause for alarm at this point. And we are making progress.
Can you indicate the areas
in which you've made progress.
Now, I really cannot go into any of those details.
But you are getting closer.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Closer. But are you going to beat the deadline? Is a big chunk of L.A. going to be blown off the map, Mr. Ogans?
Mr. Grant, I really cannot go into any of those details.
You can't go into those details.
Well, I'm glad that you appreciate that you understand it.
Yeah? Just a minute. It's for you.
Ogans. Yeah? When? How many? Okay, I'm on my way. I'm sorry, but something has come up.
Is it anything to do with the bomb?
I really can't go into any detail.
I just don't get it. I have trouble picturing who would want to do something like this.
A guy in England, as a little joke, advertised weapons-grade uranium for sale. I don't know who he thought would call him. Red Chinese, maybe.
And nobody did.
He got over 200 calls from one ad, one day. Hundreds of private citizens who thought it might be nice to own an atomic weapon.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Oh, Charlie, I'm sorry. I didn't see you were here.
It's okay, I was just deciding.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go. You go ahead.
Oh, no, you were here first.
It's your quarter. Look, Joe. I know that you're dating Joni, as you know.
I know.
And this is 1979, and I am, after all, managing editor of a major metropolitan newspaper, so I have a pretty good picture of what things are like today. And Joni is an independent, mature young woman, and you're no kid.
No.
So what I'm saying is we can separate this from our work, keep it in its own corner.
Okay, that's good.
Just tell me one thing. What are your intentions?
Well, Joni's great. She's a great person, and I'd like to get to know her better. A little better.
Well, that makes sense. Joni's special.
Oh, she really is.
Well, how we doing, Joe? You think our little discussion is cleared the air?
No.
Neither do I.
Joe, I must seem so young to you.
Not really.
Well, I am young. But I do know when something isn't working out, and we are not working out. There's someone else, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, well, that's what I thought.
Your father. He is very protective of you.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's the problem. That you work for Charles Hume, and Charles Hume is my father.
Well, yeah.
Well, problems have solutions. I mean, that is, if we both have an interest in continuing this thing, we should be able to find a solution.
You think we could get rid of your father? Contact, I gotta move. Do me a favor. Go up right now and tell Lou and Charlie and tell them the note says no cops.
Yes, Joni. Okay, I've got it. Yeah, thank you. Rusty's on his way to meet the terrorists. Now, they said no cops. Aren't the feds still following him?
Why didn't you people print our message? Are you crazy? Don't you people care if Los Angeles gets blown up? Don't you have a sense of responsibility?
There is no bomb, is there? You designed one on paper to make your threat convincing, but now you have nothing to back up your demands.
I thought when the newspaper saw the plans, they'd have to print our demands. They couldn't take the chance not to. How could I know I was sending the plans to a newspaper full of idiots?
Where is the bomb?
FBI, nobody move! Against the wall!
Press, LA Tribune, Joe Rossi. I'm a reporter. Will you just look inside? Call my editor, Lou Grant. Will you look in my pocket? Come on, man.
Okay. It's over. They got everyone.
What about the bomb?
They got it, too.
So there was a bomb.
Yeah, but it wasn't armed with nuclear material.
The whole bomb threat was really phony?
In a sense.
What bomb threat?
Somebody was threatening to blow up a part of L.A. with an atomic bomb.
Really?
No, but it wasn't loaded or workable.
I guess not. You need a whole Manhattan project to build an atomic bomb.
And he's a well-informed person.
Doesn't affect him. He's in financial.
So we'll run a story about this, and that's how people will react. They'll never know how close we came.
How close did we come?
We just got a call on this. The Fed stopped an attempt to steal some weapons-grade plutonium from a truck parked outside a coffee shop in Arizona.
Is there a tie-in?
Ogum said he couldn't go into details.
I think that means we came pretty close. Jack, we're off the hook.
I guess we are. For now.
Yeah.
So long, Lou.
So long, Jack. What else have we got for the first edition?
Well, we had a 4-car pileup on the Harbor Freeway, and the city council is deadlocked over bike paths for Hancock Park.
Jeez. We really could use that bomb today.
So let's see each other before the next end of the world.
You know, we worry about Russia and China dropping the A-bomb, or India or Argentina. But that may not be the way it happens. It'll probably be another of these lunatic little groups settling a private dispute in some dark corner of the world.
Not fair, is it? If we're blown up, it should be by somebody big.
Right. Head up. I'll walk you to the parking lot.
Take a trip on the beat with the cops who bring crooks to trial on the critically acclaimed crime show Law and Order tonight. Now, an officer is killed and Internal Affairs is on the case. Martin Balsam, Kim Hunter, and Jack Carter star in Police Story. Next on A&E.